Hello everyone, welcome to this wonderful session. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to set up your coding environment. We are going to be using the C programming language, and with the C programming language, we are going to be using the DevC++ IDE. So on the course of watching this video, I assume that you have already downloaded and installed your DevC++ application. So to work with your application, you go right ahead and right click on this, and then you click on open, and you give the process a little bit of time for it to open. Once this opens, you are going to have a blank interface like this with the name of the compiler written here. So the name of the compiler we are using for our program DevC is the TDM/JCC compiler, and it's version 4.9.2. On this other side, you have the various tabs of this IDE. Take note that the IDE is simply full name for Integrated Development Environment, and it helps us to develop programs in a particular programming language. So for this particular IDE DevC++, we can develop our programs using two languages, the C and the C+ language. To develop your program, you just move straight to File, you click on File, you move on New, you come to New and select Project. When you click on Project, it's going to give you a tab like this. When you have this tab here, all you need to do is change the name of the project you want. For example, I want to call mine, let's say I want to call mine Hello World. That's the name of what I want to call. It's always good to avoid using spaces, so we put an underscore. And here we have two programming languages that we can use, the C programming language and the C++ programming language. So I'm going to select the C programming language. That's what I want to use. We have the Windows application, which is a graphical user interface. We have the console application, which is a command line. We have these are static libraries for plugins, DLL for plugins, and we have an empty project file. So I'm going to create a basic application that will be command line interface, and I'll click on OK. The next window will ask me where I want to save it. So I'm going to click on desktop. I'll create a new folder and call the folder C tutorial. So I'll call it C tutorial, and I'll save everything inside C tutorial. So when you want to save, you're going to make sure that you see C tutorial written here just next to save in. So this means that whatever you're going to do will be stored in C tutorial. I'll click on this, and now I'm going to have my coding environment. On this side, you have your project content. This gives you a list of everything that is found inside the folder Hello World. So inside the folder Hello World, currently we have a main.c file, and this main.c file is what is actually open here. So you can see the name up here, and all the other options that were inactive here are now active. But the three main important functions you are going to be using will be the compile button, which is shortcut F9. You are going to be using the run button or the compile and run button. Those are the three most important buttons that you will use. So you can explore the other buttons during your free time, but for this tutorial, we are mostly going to be using the compile option, the run option, or the compile and run option together. So when you see your coding environment like this, what next do you do? The best option to continue is to clear up your environment. So this is an example of a single line comment. We clear it off, it's not important. We have some trash written in the middle here. We clear that off, it's not really important. And remember that when you are writing pseudocodes, every pseudocode that you use begins with a start and a stop. In C language, this is a symbol that represents start, and this one represents stop. So all of this from year to year is just initialization. Now we are going to say hello world. With C language, we have two instructions that we use for input and output. So for output, that is to print information to the user, we use printf, and to collect information from the user, we use scanf. So I'm going to say printf, and I'm going to write in inverted commas. When you write in inverted commas, everything that you put, or in quote commas, in quotation marks, everything that you write will come out, will appear exactly as you have written them. So I'm going to put hello world, and the /n is used to begin on a new line. Take note, in C, every instruction ends with a semicolon. Of course, we are going to move straight to using our compile button to see if there are errors. They're going to ask us, where do you want to save it? We want to save it in C tutorial. Again, they will ask you to change the file name. Always modify the file name to represent what you are building. So I'm going to say hello world, and I'll save, and then allow it to execute, to compile, sorry. When that compiles, you are going to see here warning 0, errors 0, and you will see the location where this executable file was stored. So what I have here is source code. When I compile, the source code is converted into a machine code, which is now an executable program. We have it here, and we have the output size, which is 127.9296875 kilobyte, and it was compiled in 4.30 seconds. The next thing is to run the program and actually see the result. So we run, and now we are going to have hello world printed there as an output, and the process exited after 0.1528 seconds. So what I've just shown you is exactly how to initialize your coding environment for DevC++ IDE. Take note, the process is the same if you want to use a C++ language. So thank you very much, and see you in the next tutorial.